So you want to give a woman a mind-blowing experience in the bedroom, but don't know where to start? Well, in this video, I'm going to share with you 4 bedroom moves to use that drive women absolutely crazy. Hi, I'm Harry Wilmington. I've been a men's dating coach for the last 15 years and have helped hundreds of men just like you find their dating confidence. If you'd like more of my expert dating advice, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to be notified when I post new videos. So I wanted to talk about this today because I'm sure there are a lot of you guys out there that are getting to a point with a woman where she's willing to actually go to bed with you and you want to give her the best experience possible, but you're not too sure. Maybe in the past you've had women complain about how well your performance was, or you've had good physical relations, but nothing that's really seemed to be like that knock out the park wow that you want to give a woman. I've always made it a point to not only continuously research what works, but also test it out and also get feedback from the women that I date about what's working and what's not. You want to make sure you're getting her feedback so that way you can better understand what works well for her body. Okay, so I've always had good sexual experiences, and the women that I've been with have had them as well because I've been willing to pay attention. And so over the years, I've gotten reactions such as, I've never experienced that before. I no longer use my vibrator because you do it so much better. Yes, I enjoy touching myself, but I tend to want to wait for you because you touch me better. And so this is just an example of feedback that I've gotten. So if you're not getting that kind of feedback, then that just simply means that you need to learn a few moves that are guaranteed to turn women on to where you're going to make women have what I call an arousal explosion. Now, I want to preface this by saying that the techniques I'm going to talk about in a minute are things that in general work on most women and at different levels. So for example, I might talk about a technique that I've used it before where it worked heavily on one woman, whereas another one was just kind of like, it was a little bit of arousal, and another one, it might not have done anything at all, okay? So as a wide sampling of women, I can say that this stuff overall works, but that's why I say it's important that you want to get feedback from a woman on what is working and what's not. Another thing I want to mention is that a lot of these techniques have to deal with anticipation. A big part of the sexual experience for a woman is building up to that ultimate climax. And in order to do that, it's going to be better for you to make her anticipate things happening versus giving it to her right away. Because the buildup for her is more exciting. It's the journey of, it's the being able to wonder where you're going to go with this thing. And that allows her mind to imagine and think about where you're going to possibly take her. And just thinking about where you might take her is going to make her even more excited so that by the time you finally get her there, she's able to have this huge explosion of not only feelings, but also physical pleasure. Here's the first tip, okay? Kissing her on her neck. Now, right here on her neck, right here and in this location here, the neck is a very, very sensitive area on most women. And the majority of them, if you start kissing them there, you'll notice they start to open up and you'll start to hear them make slight moaning sounds. And a big mistake a lot of guys make is they go from trying to kiss her on the lips to directly going for the boobs or going for, the area down here or whatever. But you want to kind of again, you want to build up to that. But starting here is a great place because this has nerve endings that go to all various parts of the body. And like I said, you're going to notice her start to moan and kind of you'll literally feel a woman go from being kind of tense to where you're kissing her on her neck. She'll just start, her body will just loosen up. And that lets you know she's starting to loosen up to the idea of you being able to go other places on her. So this is a really good place to start on a woman. And it is one of her heightened erogenous zones, okay? It's not quite the other sexualized parts, but it's pretty close that you can get to without actually touching one of them. That's going to really start to rile her up. Another thing you can do is you can give her a massage. The key to this though is you want to give her the kind of massage that's going to allow her to feel your hands all over the majority of her body except for those highly sexualized parts. Again, so what you want to do is you lie her on her front first and you give her a massage on her back. Ideally, you have some kind of massage oil, but what I found is that you get one of those warming oils that she can feel on her body. And for one, giving a massage in general just starts to loosen up her muscles. It makes her less tense. And then having that added warmth that you're giving to her with the oil, it really starts to make her feel warm and sensual and attractive and sexy. And you're going to rub on her back. I really recommend you guys read up on massage books and look up YouTube videos on how to give massages, because this is one of those ways that you're going to be able to open up her entire body without actually having had sex with her yet, okay? But the more loose and more open your you're able to make her body before you start going for those sexualized parts, the more massive a reaction she's going to have when you finally do go for them. Because again, by giving her a massage in every place but those parts, you're building up the journey. You're making her anticipate when you get to those parts. So you start at her back, you're rubbing on her back at the top part, you rub down close to her butt, but not quite her butt. You kind of go around it, you go down to her legs, give her a really good massage on the legs. The foot is another great area because the foot also has nerve endings in it that typically go to other parts of the body. So between her neck and between massaging her feet, those two parts alone, you will start to really like turn on the engine for her, okay? And really have her thinking like, oh my God, this feels great. What else is he gonna do next, okay? So yeah, you're massaging, and once you're done with her back parts, you make sure you get her arms on the back as well. Turn her around and start massaging her front. Massage her stomach, massage up here near her shoulders. This feels really, really good. Make sure that you're, massaging near her hip area. And then you want to start moving your hands in on her legs, going up towards her thigh, because going up towards her thigh is going near her nether region, but you're not actually touching her nether region, okay? You're sticking towards her thighs, you're sticking towards the top of her legs. All these things, again, are just gonna make her anticipate your touch more and more. And the more you can do the pre-gaming for this or the foreplay or whatever, then it's gonna be a lot easier to be able to get in those other places. Because you'll notice, for example, if you're massaging all over, she's gonna start to get loose. Down here, it's gonna start to get a lot more moist. So that way, when you're finally able to go in there, it's gonna be a quick slide in versus you having to try to fight and punch through to get her opened up. The third thing you can do is you want to tease her down there with your tongue. And by tease, I mean, there's gonna be a point where your face is down there and you're gonna start by like licking up on the inner part of her thigh, and then you're kind of licking on the mound part, like that's right above down there. And then even when you go down there, you don't want to just start doing what a lot of guys do, which is just start lick, 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 and you're just constantly licking, and you're just doing it at the same pressure and the same speed, and you're not really doing anything other than just going to town on it. Because you got to understand, even though that's where she gets aroused, it's also very sensitive. So what you don't want to do is go down there and you start licking her extra hard and it ends up actually either hurting her or feeling very uncomfortable, okay? You want to tease. This is a teasing game. Again, you're building anticipation. So you might, for example, go down there and don't even start with like the main part. You want to start going to the sides and like licking there for a little bit. And then you want to occasionally touch in the clit. And then you want to go back and lick some more on the sides here and there. And then occasionally, and this is what'll really drive her wild, is you'll lick for a little bit and then you'll stop. And you'll just kind of like either go to another part where you're licking on her legs again or licking on the top again, and then you go back there and you lick some more. And you're just kind of gradually licking there. You're licking a little slow and steady with a little bit of pressure, and then you add a tiny bit more pressure, and then you back off, and then you go back again. You lick a little bit faster this time, but you're licking with a little more pressure. And also during this time, you're gonna be able to really gauge her reaction to how she's reacting. You'll be able to hear her breath going a certain way. She might be moaning sometimes, or she might be saying, oh, like lick harder here, oh, just down a little bit. So make sure your ears are open to listen to her directions, because if a woman is liking what you're doing and she wants you to get her off in that way, she's gonna tell you where to go. If you're going too fast, she'll tell you, hey, this, slow it down a little bit, or oh, a little less pressure, a little more pressure, go here, go down more. Listen to those things, but again, always teasing. So you're licking a little bit, you're stopping, and then there's gonna be a point where you're gonna do a build-up. You're gonna build up from going slow to kind of going a little bit faster, and eventually a woman will say something like, oh, that's the spot right there. If a woman says, oh, that's the spot right there, that's where you stay. You stay in that land for at least a good 15 to 20 seconds. You don't want to do the thing where you just decide to do something else. Because think about it, think if a girl's going down on you and she's doing a motion that's like starting to build up your intensity. The worst thing she can do is either stop that thing or do something completely different. Like if she's licking you a certain way and you're like, oh, that feels great. For her to change it up, you're like, what are you doing? Like, why are you changing this up? So same thing. You want to make sure that if she's saying she likes something, keep doing that thing. Usually this is around the time that she's starting to build up more and more towards like orgasming. So you want to make sure if she's liking emotion, keep doing that thing unless she otherwise says to stop doing it, okay? And then the fourth thing you can do to really drive a woman wild is inevitably you're going to get to the point where you're taking off your pants and you're able to actually go inside of her with your stuff down there as well. And a lot of guys make the mistake of going to pound town and just being like bam, 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 and they don't change it up. They just go at the same speed with the same kind of intensity and going in at the same depth. And you don't want to do that if you want to really make her have a mind-blowing experience, okay? So what you do is you go in and you're going to start thrusting and you're going in and out and going in and out, but you want to switch it up. So what I mean is that you're going to go in sometimes and then you're going to go all the way in and then pull out and then only go like halfway in or go like a third of the way in. Okay, so, and you'll do that a few times where you'll go like a third of the way in, a third of the way in, a third of the way in, and then boom, you go back in. And then you go in like 2 or 3 really good times, and then you stop and you just kind of kiss her for a little bit, and then you like go in again at like halfway, and halfway, and then all the way, and then a third of the way, and then a third of the way, and then all the way. And so what you're doing basically is you're changing up your thrusting technique, because what you don't want is you don't want to be that predictable guy that's just constantly thrusting, because now she always knows what to expect. And if she can consistently expect every single time how you're going to thrust down there, it can become old very quickly. So I'm not saying you're gonna, every single time you have sex with her, switch it up, but what you wanna do is, let's say the last time you had sex with her, you were constantly thrusting in. So this next time, you thrust it a few times and she's expecting it, and then you switch it up. You stop, you go in halfway for a little bit and halfway, and she's sitting there like, when is he gonna go back in? When is he gonna go back in again? Oh my God, he's driving me crazy. But it's anticipation. You're making her wonder when it's gonna happen. And then when it finally does happen, you're finally like, a little bit in, little bit in, little bit in, pow! She is going to scream her guts out like, oh my God, I didn't know when that was gonna happen. This is so great. So these are just some of the ways that you can make the sexual experience for women more arousing, and how you can allow less boredom in the bedroom, how you can make her anticipate more, and how you can ultimately make her build up to thinking that you are the guy that she wants to stay with, because most guys are doing the same thing over and over again, and you are the one that's bringing it differently, and she's not gonna wanna get rid of different. She's gonna wanna keep you around, because who else is gonna be able to get her off as well as you have? So with that said, comment below and let me know. Have you used any of these techniques on a woman in the bedroom before? You can simply leave a yes or no, or you can leave an extended comment down below. And while you're down there, no pun intended, I've written a short ebook on how to keep your text game on point so that you're always building up her interest and being efficient with your messages. And you can download it at the link in the description. In the meantime, check out some of the other videos on this channel to improve your dating game. And if you like this video, please hit that like button, be sure to subscribe and share with your friends. And I will see you on the next video. I'm out. Peace.